Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm not here with Geeky Sparkles in this video. I'm going to talk more about Bluesky. We did a video this morning actually praising Bluesky for putting the kibosh on people celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. But I think the damage is done. I think it's too late for Bluesky. There was, ironically enough, an article on the New Yorker yesterday talking about how everybody's leaving Bluesky. They're going back to Twitter, despite it being quote unquote toxic. And this is before Charlie Kirk. This would have been in the morning. And they basically said that Bluesky is too toxic. It's just, it's a very toxic platform. And then we saw it firsthand. We saw it firsthand after the shooting. And we're going to talk about this because, I mean, this is pretty much everything we've been saying for a year now, that Bluesky is or has become one of the most batshit platforms out there. And I don't know if it's really the fault of the CEO and the people that run Bluesky. Their original intention was to create something that was non-toxic, and all they did was recreate Twitter 2017. And all the crazy ass activists, all the people that were causing problems on Twitter in 2017, they're all over on Bluesky, and they have their own echo chamber now. Normal people dare not go over there, but they go over there and they basically, you know, get the gang back together, and they ramp up the cancel culture, and they ramp up the nonstop talks about Trump and Vance and every microaggression. And I swear to God, it's like a time capsule. And I think that's why Jack Dorsey noped out. He's like, yeah, this is not what I wanted to do. I did not want to create the worst era of Twitter. So we're gonna talk about it, why people are leaving, and again, just, you know, this week's events have definitely shown us the true face, I believe, of Bluesky. It was so bad that they had to tell people to stop celebrating, because there's so many people over there. They're just completely insane. They're gone. And they went over there because they were angry about Elon Musk. They were angry about Donald Trump winning again. And they just created this intolerant platform that I think in many ways is worse than Reddit. I mean, I know it's kind of hard to imagine, but Reddit's pretty insane too. Reddit, I just want to say this again. I think I've talked about this before. I'm an old head, and I worked in tech when Reddit first launched. And when Reddit first launched, it was fantastic. Pretty much any question you could think of would be answered by somebody who is smarter than you or has more experience than you. And it was very by the book, right? So you know that very helpful Indian guy that makes the videos on YouTube that tells you how to fix literally anything with your computer. Yeah, it was like that. Yeah, like there was no political bias initially. And then, you know, around just like everything else around 2015, 2016, just everything went to hell. And, you know, a lot of these people are just still living in that mindset from a decade ago. It's been a decade, and people are still just as angry about the first Trump election as they've ever been. And they're still ranting about it. And even when he's gone, when he's out of office, they're still going to be ranting about it. Hell, I worked with a guy at a newspaper, you know, I talked about working in a newspaper, who was still angry about Ronald Reagan. And he's actually one of the first people I've ever met that was, angry about Ronald Reagan. Maybe I lived in a bubble, but I knew people that maybe didn't care for him that much, but they hate his guts. And this guy, just anytime you mentioned Reagan, just he would fume. And I was actually working at this paper when Reagan died. And he said he didn't want to be, we had a commemorative pullout or something because the publisher was a huge Reagan fan. And he sat it out. He's like, I am not even going to be associated. You know, and I got along fine with him. Otherwise, hey, Lou, if you're listening. No, I got along fine with him otherwise. He was an okay guy. But man, you get him on politics. And it was just like, that was kind of the precursor to what I think we've seen online. But yeah, he was like, yeah, I'm not gonna contribute to that section. I'm gonna go do something else, or I'll just take my sick days that week. And I'm like, oh, for God's sake. Okay, whatever. That's fine. Whatever. You know, but yeah, everything's very different now. So let's talk about this before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Hey, if you want to get notified of when hopefully when we go live, and also when we post new videos. Go out to news.clownfishtv.com, sign up for our free newsletter. You want to do that because I don't know if YouTube is going to show you our videos. So we've had a couple videos this week that have done pretty okay, but it seems like if we get a video that does good, then the next video or two does terrible. Like they're seriously getting stingy with showing our content to people, even people that have subscribed to us. I mean, we have over 500,000 subscribers, and a lot of you I know are not getting notifications. A lot of you are not getting notifications. So if you want notified, go to news.clownfishtv.com. We're going to try to do an end run around YouTube. I think we kind of have to at this point. So this is coming from the New Yorker. Social media is navigating its sectarian phase. Many liberals who fled X for Bluesky seem to be embracing the Elon Musk-owned platform once more. Why? Well, it started with Nate Silver, who's a numbers guy. He's an author. And he said, electorally speaking, it's more important for Democrats to avoid Blueskyism than leftism. Not that Bluesky is important, but embodies all the characteristics that make progressivism, unappealing to normal people. If you could subtract those, the left would win more often. Again, this was on September 1st. I mean, this is very timely. He's not wrong. Because what is happening now is that Blueskyism is probably what led to the mindset that took the life of Charlie Kirk and the mindset of the people who cheered it on. And, Bluesky is very ill. And these people were on Twitter, and they were very ill on Twitter. And before that, they were on Tumblr, and they were ill on Tumblr. And pretty much wherever this group of people mindset, I would say it's more of a mindset, wherever that Blueskyism goes, chaos follows. And I would say it's pretty much what Elon Musk calls the woke mind virus. That's what he's calling it. And that is what this is. It really is an infectious disease of the mind. People stop thinking, and they feel their way through things, but their emotions are tainted, and the parts of their humanity that should work no longer work, right? And they claim to be sympathetic and empathetic, but I've seen more quote unquote jokes calling for people's death, calling for people to be canceled, wishing harm on their families, having a good chuckle at the potential misfortune that could befall people. And it's very, very prevalent. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen on the right. I mean, it absolutely, I've seen people say some really shitty things about Biden, and it's like, look, the guy's old. He doesn't even know where he is half the time. It's a whole thing. But, it's really rampant on the left. And this is part of the reason why I left the left, because I started to see it, because since we were in the art space, we were in the comic space, and it's very, very prevalent in comics. We started to see it before the general public started to see it, because this is the mindset that the comic book industry and the publishing industry, the mainstream publishing industry and the animation industries, all these creative fields, this was starting to creep in as early as 2010, 2012. It became very noticeable in like 2013, 2014. So we're talking a couple of years before Donald Trump got elected. We were starting to see this very bastardized version of liberalism. Now's the part of the video where everybody jumps in. It's like, liberalism has always been this way. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just saying, I was a guy who was a lifelong Democrat. First president I voted for was Clinton. Would I now? But you know what I'm saying? Like, I supported every Democratic candidate until Hillary. And the reason I didn't support Hillary was the same reason I believe that a lot of people didn't support Kamala Harris, in that Hillary was installed. Bernie Sanders was the clear front runner, and they tanked him. And I saw that, and I'm like, this guy's got more support than any Democrat candidate has had in a long, long time. And he's clearly the guy you need to run right now. and you're not going to do it. You're going to put another Clinton in. After what happened last time, you're putting another Clinton. Are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, I'm out, man. So I didn't vote. I'll say I didn't vote in 2016. I was so angry. I didn't vote. I kind of rage quit the Democrats. Didn't vote Republican either. I'm good to be honest. I didn't think Donald Trump was going to win. I said that before. I didn't think he was going to win. So I didn't, but the whole mindset started before any of that. And that is what is driving people that were normal people, that were progressives or liberals. I'll say the liberals, Democrats, left wingers. They're driving them away from the party and into the arms of the Republicans. I mean, you've got Tulsi Gabbard and RFK Jr., siding with the Republicans now, right? I mean, come on. You've got Bernie Sanders on Fox News, for God's sake. I mean, what the hell happened? So this person's kind of pushing back, like, how would you even define Blueskyism? Serious question. He said, don't ruin my forthcoming newsletter essay prompts. He said, this person here, Sir Winston, says, anytime I see Bluesky mentioned in someone's bio, I automatically assume that they are retarded. Danielle Fong says, boil off containment zone, proving that social physics obeys entropic forces. Thermodynamics already does this. Thank you to the people who unfortunately have to deal with it. Yeah, I mean, the good thing about Bluesky is if they're over there, they're not affecting you on X as much. X is not as crazy as it used to be. There still are crazies, but they're mostly quarantined to Bluesky. But I fear they're going to come back over to X because they're not getting enough of a dopamine hit on Bluesky because nobody's really using Bluesky. There's a lot of cope, I guess. We're going to say there's a lot of copium over on Reddit because Reddit and Bluesky, have an overlap for sure on the Venn diagram of assholishness. But yeah, they're trying to tell themselves that things are great. Things are great. The decline has mostly stopped over the past 3 weeks. It's gone flat. Things are great, guys. Well, no, actually, if you look for the last couple months, there's a definite decline. And I think after yesterday, right after what happened to Charlie Kirk, and after the jubilation, the celebration that these people had on Bluesky, I think it's going to drive off a lot of the normies. And it is like the worst of the mental institutions at this point. Like it is. You want to know who the troublemakers are? Just look to see if they got Bluesky in their bio. And I do the same thing. And I feel horrible because there are some people that I like quite a bit that are on Bluesky, but anymore I see a Bluesky handle and I'm like, oh my God, you're one of those. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I hate to be that way because some of these people I know, right? I know these people. But I'm like, oh, you're on Bluesky. It's like, so I know what you're doing. You're just bitching about right-wingers all damn day long. And, Nazis, got to punch Nazis. Find a Nazi. But yeah, people are getting fed up. They're getting fed up with it. I got to see what these retweets look like here. This is the first time I've looked at these. All right. This person says I use data to reach rigorous conclusions. Well, no, actually it's not looking too good. Now we're going to get all the Bluesky. Oh yeah. Okay. At Sam Wang at bluesky.social. Fitbit dude, if you ever wanted to know about Nate Silver, he posts this while the owner of the site tweets and retweets the most rampant racism imaginable and courts Nazis. The man with the gateway ass says Nate sucks, but Bluesky became a place for Democrats to agree with each other that they're the sensible leftists. Palestinian accounts get banned within days. That's interesting. The trans people made Bluesky interesting and routinely brigaded for pointing out that Newsom sucks. Shitlib echo chamber. Shitlibs. That should be its own political party. You know what? Just, break off from the Democrats. Let the Democrats go back to what they were like, 30, 40 years ago. And you guys can go form your own political party, the Shitlibs, and then maybe we can just kind of get back to normal. I don't know. Bluesky is 95% a shitlib echo chamber. This person here says Blueskyism is the embodiment of everything people think they hate about the Democratic Party. And yeah, no. Okay. So this is what I want to talk about because I got in trouble. I got in trouble yesterday. No trouble. I'm using finger quotes here. I got in trouble yesterday because I said, you have no idea. And, again, as of the recording of this video, I still don't think we know who the shooter actually was. But I said, whoever it was, chances are reasonably good it's somebody on the left, right? Reasonably good somebody's got an axe to grind with Trump or Charlie Kirk or whatever it is, right? I mean, I'm just saying, reasonably sure that's what's going on. And I said, you have no idea. They have no idea the hell that they've unleashed on their side. And I think the Democrats realize this because pretty much every prominent Democratic voice within hours of it happening, they're all like, yeah, we denounce this. Not one of ours. We don't want anything to do with this. And do I believe all of them feel it? I think some of them do. I think some of them feel absolutely terrible about it. I was watching the Young Turks and Cenk was like, he had tears in his eyes from it. Now people are like, well, he probably just took some Visine or something. No, he actually seemed like he was really, really rattled. Because even if he didn't agree with him, they're still kind of occupying the same space, right? The political commentator space. And, it kind of hits home that like, oh my God, I mean, he could have been thinking like, oh my God, it could have been me. But yeah. So I think they're really lining up to disavow this. And I think after yesterday, we'll check back on this in a week or two. I think there's going to be a massive exodus from Bluesky. We had a massive influx of people after Trump got elected and after Elon Musk and Doge and all that stuff because everybody hated Elon Musk. And now I think they're like, you know what? Maybe X isn't that bad. Maybe we should just go back or just go someplace else or just, you know what? If you're that mental, if you can't even with the internet and all the orange man stuff, maybe just disconnect from the internet for a couple of days. You might feel better. Go outside, fly a kite, get a dog, go fly a kite with your dog. Go ride a bicycle or something. I mean, just get the hell out of the house so you're not sitting around all day watching Rachel Maddow and getting angry at everything and blaming Trump for shit that happened before him or he had no control over or whatever. That's not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying you have to like Trump. I'm just saying like your personal happiness at this point in time in your life isn't solely dependent on who's in the White House. A lot of people, for the longest time, a lot of people didn't give a shit who was in the White House. As long as they had money in the bank and they had food on their table and things were all right, they didn't really care who the president was. Like I'm sitting here, like even thinking back when I was younger, I'm like, yeah, the Clinton, Bush, Obama years just kind of all blurred together because I really didn't care too much, who was in the White House. But this is coming from the article here. The general perception of the Democratic Party is we're hypersensitive, attuned to all forms of injustice, both real and fake, and extremely risk averse to the point of dweebishness. But we're also allegedly avid cheerleaders for crime and homelessness and gleefully endorse the upending of the social order of the country at large through open borders and drag queen story hour or whatever. We embody the worst of all possible identities. In other words, we became the party of people who wouldn't dare use a fake ID even if we knew where to procure one, and now we are reaping what we've sowed. Well, I think, again, after yesterday, I think it's going to get pretty bad for that side. If that is actually what's, again, we don't know as of recording this video, but if I were a betting man, I would say my hunch is it's somebody who definitely had an axe to grind with Trump, somebody who's suffering from Blueskyism, and it's not looking too good for Bluesky, and they're going to have to do some major damage control because this is a startup pretty much, and they're trying to get funding, and their users just drop month after month after month. They basically get chased away by all the ridiculous trolls and activists on the site, the sock puppet accounts and drama queens, and again, mentally ill people that need to be somewhere else besides online because it's not good for them and it's not good for us. I'm going to wrap it up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later. For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.